MD Prepper here, talking more about my $28 a week food experiment. I realized that my last 2 weeks of choices may not be perfect for everybody. You may have different tastes, different choices out there. So on today's shopping excursion, I picked up a few extra items that are not included in the food list and aren't going to be included unless so noted in the weekly purchase updates. But I thought these would be a decent breakdown for you guys to think about other options and tailor things to your personal choices. Overall, I didn't think these were the best options, but maybe I'll change my mind in week 3 or 4. First option I picked up, just for extra, grits. Now, I'm a southern boy. I love my grits. Absolutely do. Grits are fantastic, but not these. I started this challenge and experiment saying I was only going to buy from Walmart, and if Walmart didn't have it, I wouldn't buy it. These are your bleached, plain, boring white grits. Unsouthern, unmanly. If you're not eating yellow grits, you're an infidel and a savage, in my opinion, for whatever that's worth. Don't like these things. I don't think they have the flavor, they don't have the texture. They're quick and easy, but just flavorless, especially with these seasonings I have around right now, salt and pepper and cinnamon, etc. You need some butter, you need some ham, you need just bacon, just something to make these better. Skip these entirely, in my opinion. Go for the proper yellow grits. These were very inexpensive at $1.34 per container, and that's 2,340 calories overall. So not a bad addition, more calories than your oats overall. So if you want them, fine. I left them out. Next, a second container of old-fashioned oats. Still working with the oats, just don't have a lot of experience with them. Don't tend to eat them. I tend to prefer grits and all that for breakfast, but making granola and other type options, it seems decent, but I'm still working on my first container overall, so didn't see a need to buy a second one, but that's $1.68 for 1,950 calories. Another item you're going to note that's missing is all-purpose white flour or wheat flour or what have you. I'm trying to stay away from the processed grains and the sugars and flours and all that if I can overall. I thought that the masa flour had more versatility overall than the all-purpose flour, but it has a lot of options. You can make dumplings, you can make crackers and breads if you got the extra cash for the yeast and all that later on. So I may add this later on, but not right now. Overall, this 5-pound bag is $1.68 or 7,500 calories, so heck of a booster overall for calories and all if you want them, but I'm heading a different direction, so you may see this added to future purchases overall. Next, we've got sugar, plain old sugar. This is a 4-pound bag for $2.32 or 6,010 calories. I'm trying to stay away from the refined sugars and all that. We don't need them in our diet. They're not necessary, less healthy, not particularly healthy at all. High rates of diabetes and glycemic index and all that. This would be nice to add the granola and all, and the tea that I'm making, the hot teas, but I just didn't add this right now. Maybe in the future when I've got other options. This is a lot of calories in a bag for cheap, but it's wasted calories in my opinion, especially in the second week, so we'll see. Next up, in response to buying all the chicken, I've got Treat. Good old Treat, you know, knockoff brand of Spam basically. This was the cheapest overall, even compared to the luncheon meat from Great Value Sam's. This came in at $1.58 per can or 840 calories per can. Now, I would not eat this straight up, you know, entirely the whole can at once. I divide it up and use it. You can dice it up. You can add it in your stir-fried rice. You can add this to soups for more of a pork flavor, pork stock, etc. Sliced thin and pan-fried. It's quite tasty for breakfast. A lot of options for Treat. I thought about adding this to week 2, but just didn't for the cost. The chicken's more versatile overall. This stores a long time. Stores much better than chicken, so if you don't have refrigeration or anything, nothing wrong with a Treat overall, I guess. High sodium, etc. But as long as you break it apart and make it last, it's okay. Now on the beans category, we've got the Great Northern Beans. Can't say I've eaten a lot of these. I guess Great Northern Beans are for Yankees and folks in the Great White North of Canada. I've only had these a time or two in white chilies and some other things, and I haven't been impressed. Maybe I haven't had them seasoned right, but I'll stick with pintos and black beans overall for my bean choices. But this is an option. This is a 1 pound bag. 1 pound bag came in at $1.98. with 1,170 calories per bag, so decent alternative if you want something else other than the choices I made. Next on the list, we got lentils. Lentils are right here. Another 1 pound bag that I picked up. I'm not very seasoned with using lentils in cooking and dining, but a lot of my friends in med school and residency were Indian and Southeast Asia, etc. They used a lot of lentils. A lot of those were vegetarians and used this with rice and some other options for a protein source. So lentils are very much a decent option, especially for soups and things like that. So got that just to get it. $1.27 yields 1,040 calories per bag. Next, garbanzo beans or chickpeas. So beans, peas, whatever you want to call them, used in hummus and all that. Very versatile overall. Also, with a lot of my friends who eat the lentils, they use the chickpeas. Pick those up for cheap. $1.37 a bag, or 1,430 calories per 1 pound bag. Another option to switch out. Just haven't experimented with these much. I'll be experimenting with most of these after the experiment's over, just to see what I can do. Finally, we got kidney beans right down here in the corner. Standard old kidney beans we all recognize. 1 pound bag. Came in at $1.48 per pound, 1,300 calories. Perfectly decent substitute for the other beans. I tend to associate kidney beans with chili. And when I associate my thoughts with chili, I think beef. I don't have any beef out there, not yet in week 2, but decent option, especially if you know other options to cook with them, but I'm sticking with pintos and black beans so far. Moving down the list, other things I thought about. Chicken bouillon. Chicken bouillon's great for chicken stock. Very inexpensive, very versatile overall. 98 cents for this container, and it's got 25 servings overall. This was the cheapest bouillon overall. The powder stuff is definitely cheaper overall than the cubes. I can measure out how much I want and control my sodium content and all, but now that I've got the chicken quarters on the menu, I don't think I need this. I did think about purchasing this in the first week and just didn't. Maybe I should have, maybe not, don't know. 98 cents is going to get you a lot of use, but so be it. Finally, seasonings. That 88 cents bucket and bin that I found at Walmart for this 5th season. A lot of options out there. You've obviously already seen the few I've already picked, but some of the rest of the stuff in the bin and some of the stuff that I've got sitting right here. You've got chopped onions. I didn't think the chopped onions were as useful as the onion powder overall, but it's an option. You've got whole oregano right here if you want to do Italian seasoning. I've not gone that direction so far. They did have a basic mixed Italian seasoning bottle that I didn't see today. Paprika they also had, and crushed red pepper if you want some heat to things. So you've got options in the seasoning there as well. So just some thoughts and some options to mix things up a little bit. Like I said before, these will not be added in to the cost. I just picked these up extra just to show and talk about, wax philosophical. So if you have some ideas for these, love to hear them. You may see these in week 3 or week 4. We'll see. Probably not. At least not most of it anyway. Hope you found this useful for alternative ideas to week number 2 or to the rest of your kit for $28 a week. Hope you found this interesting and informative. MD Prepper out.